Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe Podcast. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast that brings you topical yet relevant Packers news, along with our most humble, subjective opinions. This is episode 278. We're recording this on a Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. We are under a week away from the start of the 2024 Green Bay Packers training camp. And we're here to kind of just fill in the blanks, Ren. And we're going to give you the content you've been desiring this week, for sure. I'm your host, Tay. And joining me across the table tonight in studio is our one and only
Ren. What up, Tay? July 17th. This is the annual slowest sports day of the year. There is not a single major sports team of any kind playing in the United States. Baseball had the All-Star game last night, so no baseball today. Nothing.
Yeah.
Obviously, hockey done for the year. The NBA done for the year.
Ice is melted.
The NFL, we do have some guys trickling into camp. I know quarterbacks and crew had to report in Green Bay, but there's not a single game of any kind, anything associated with the four major sports in America. It is literally called the slowest sports day of the year. We want to talk about some Jordan Love contract. It's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
The day after we did this. And then we're going to probably have to do a little quick get together on the phone and talk about it for 5 minutes. But man, oh man, it is a boring day. But I will tell you, Tay, there are some talking points. Okay. Jordan Love did a AMA per Bleacher Report this week. That's an Ask Me Anything.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So he had a couple interesting anecdotes, but really the guy driving anything interesting to read, i.e. about the Green Bay Packers today, Tay.
Yeah.
We're going to throw him lots of bones today. That'd be one Zachary Cruz. Go over to the Packers Wire, and if you want to find out anything that is up-to-date Packer information that has any pertinence to what's about to happen with training camp starting with Jordan's little AMA, Zach had it. That's about all you can find. Good stuff by Zach to get your Packer fix in today.
Well, thank you, Zach. You know he is one of the best out there for Packers content. He's to me he's kind of a nice balance between news and opinion.
Yeah. No, Zach's great. Love his stuff. I always have enjoyed his stuff. You're 100% right about that. You pulled up right the big one right away, and that is, the Packers as they are about to officially start camp on Monday. That thing kicks off at 10:30 a.m. I think a couple guys with a couple hands in here, a couple voices are going to maybe be there on Monday and to kick off the start of training camp, along with potentially, Tay, maybe, do our duty as owners. But why don't you tell us a little bit about Zach kind of giving us that first little taste of the five guys that'll start training camp on the PUP. But remember, the PUP list, as we are the PUP list as well, is day to day. They can come off this anytime during training camp.
I was confused. I was like, PUP list? Like we're doing it. We're doing it now. We're doing it.
It is. I know. I'm here to confuse.
We're AKA the PUP list. Ren is referring to us going to training camp. We'll be there. We'll be square. We're going to do some fun things from training camp. Probably put out definitely an audio episode, hopefully a video episode.
Yeah.
The last two, Ren, have been video episodes from us. So we're trying to do more of that. And this coming Monday, the start of training camp for the practice and the shareholders meeting, we're trying to up our game a little bit with some content. But like you said, the training camp will start with five guys on the PUP list, not our podcast, but
I mean, they can certainly join us, and you never know. Maybe we'll run into Zach Tom and that bum pack come sometime on Monday walking around Green Bay. But unfortunately, I know they wanted Zach to be ready for training camp.
Yeah,
not gonna be ready for training camp.
He's on the PUP list, torn pectoral. We'll see. We'll see. But I think for the Packers, they want him there, but also they're like, well, we get to see some other. Yeah, they're not going to see some other people.
Not
too.
Rushing on, the future, Hall of Fame center, off that injury, right, Tay?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, well, another pectoral issue is Kraft. We got Mr. Tucker Kraft. He will also be on the pup list with that pectoral.
Is LaFleur? Is he off the pup? Is he going to be available Monday with his pec?
He might be in a sling. I mean, we'll see. But at least he doesn't have to perform or do anything. So he's got his other. He's
just got to look good on.
He's got his Rich. He's the assistant head coach. He can go out there and be more animated. Even Halfley. I mean, these guys are.
Jeff is an animated guy. He is. Apparently, he's kind of like me. He's a little short. He's got a little short and fiery.
He's got a lot to prove. So I think what I'm saying is the Packers staff, coaching staff, doesn't have shortcomings with animated, aggressive coaching staff. So this is great.
We know they got the crazy new linebacker coach, Alex Campanile.
Yeah,
and he gets after it. So it's going to be an interesting brand of voices out there come Monday morning, no doubt.
We got Alex Magoo. He's on the pup list. He went from quarterback to wide receiver. He's on the pup list with undisclosed lower body injury.
Not great for.
Is that a groin? Is that groin or is that calf?
Groin injury. It could be
big toe.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different things. Undisclosed. I mean, not good when you're moved from quarterback to wide receiver and a really deep wide receiving core team for his prospects to, break onto the 53 or even the practice squad today.
We've got Donovan Jennings, offensive line. He is going to be on the pup list too. What are we looking at here? It's unclear when he was injured, but I'm trying to find what's wrong with him. And I don't even see what's wrong with him, Ren. So let's just say elbow injury. Yeah, he's got a huge elbow injury. Hope he comes back soon.
He was taken in the third round of the UFL draft on Wednesday today. Top signing for the Packers of the Packers undrafted class.
And then my favorite, Keaton Oladapo.
That's Oladapo, but as you must, Tay. Why you do this to me every damn time?
He was, he was one of our standout safety draft picks this year. Well, we'll see. He, he's on the pup list. It's a non-football injury list
because it happened not
while he was here.
Right.
So,
correct.
I don't know. We'll see. I picture this guy as competing for a place on the roster, if not a starting position on the safety. I mean, the safety room is wide open. We don't know what we have with these rookies, so it's possible.
Wide open. I mean, I think once camp ends and breaks, I think you're talking Xavier McKinney, obviously, and Javon Bullard are your true standouts.
We'll see.
I don't think it's those two are, I think, going to be easy lockdowns, and then whatever else falls into place from there.
Okay.
So, one of the big things is we are going to be in Green Bay on Monday. First time they've ever combined the start of training camp with the annual meeting of the owners today, which we have those many tickets to with all our all our shares of stock for the Packers. But today, the Packers annual reporting, because they are the only publicly owned NFL team, came out. So those numbers came out. And per that, Tay, the Packers team now holds a $536 million in the corporate reserve fund. And as the current president will tell you, that being Mark Murphy, for just about 11 and some odd months left, he says the corporate reserve is an increasingly important strategic asset for the Packers, particularly within the changing economics of the NFL. It helps to ensure that the Packers have the resources to support their football operations and keep Lambeau Field as a top-ranked venue for the fans. The Packers reported a net income of almost $100 million and operating profit. So this is the money is above and beyond everything of just over $60 million. Murphy said it was a strong year financially. All 32 NFL teams reserved $400 million each one from the league in national revenue, which neared $13 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, last year it was 12. Just 2 short years ago, it was 10. This thing is going up by billions of dollars annually.
Jeez.
So that's helping to obviously get teams more money and make these quarterbacks that 55, 56, 57 not look like much in comparison to what you think. Remember when Rodgers broke the 40 million cap? He was the first guy to do it. You know, it's just going to be, well, somebody's going to be the first guy to 60 and so on and so forth, because this money, Tay, is just getting crazy.
It is. And Mark's right. Like, they had a good year. And that's really the only takeaway. If you don't want to get into the numbers kind of get convoluted and you're like, what's going on with the profits and nets and all this stuff? But they did have a good year, not as good as last year, but still good, trending upwards. Obviously they had like one more preseason game last year, and then they didn't have a playoff game, did they? They did. No, they didn't.
You know Dallas, Tay. You know where they were.
That's right.
They were on the road. They were the 7th seed in the playoffs. Had they
that's right.
played all the way to the Super Bowl, they would have been the away team anywhere they went.
Anywhere. So this coming year, I think they have a 9th home game.
They do. That went to the extra home game this year. Went to the Milwaukee ticket holders.
Yeah,
so they get 3 home games. The Green Bay Packers gold package gets 6.
So that will generate some more revenue. And then obviously the big hitter here is the 2025 draft next year, but that doesn't count in this year's fiscal year. That will be in the next one. So we'll see a huge jump and boom in that. But
should make this year's $60 million profit look small in comparison when that draft comes through that year. It's going to be an anomaly year in profit, but it's certainly going to be a big boon for the Packers, because one of the things Mark goes on to say is, at the moment, the way the NFL is set up, being they are the only public owned team, they do not have a deep pocketed owner. That reserve fund is so important to continue to improve the facilities and do other things, and they have acquired, I think, 3 or 4 more properties over the last 2 months in and around Lambeau Field area, because they need to generate their revenue. Because one of his concerns is, if someday that revenue sharing piece were to change, that could really put things in a tough spot for the Packers. And building this and having this and continuing to grow it is extremely important for the NFL's only non-owner owned franchise.
We saw that come into effect during the COVID year when they needed some monies, but they're reporting that this reserve fund is now at $536 million.
That's correct.
That's $500 million just for one football team. Nuts. I mean, I'm glad we have it. I'm glad it's under control and it's taken seriously here. Obviously, like you just said, we don't have an owner, so we kind of need that.
But just think, Tay, it sounds like a lot of money, but when the way the revenue sharing is working right now, the NFL is giving each team $400 million a year right now.
Yeah.
So this is like, we got 1 year where we can do it on our own if somehow the owners pull the rug out from the smallest market in the NFL, and now we're not getting revenue sharing. I hope it never changes, because it makes the NFL what it is. It gives that ultimate competitive piece to each team when, hey, everybody's rolling a training camp tomorrow. Everybody's 0-0. It's anybody's year, and it allows teams to stay and keep that competitive balance throughout the NFL, where you don't have teams like in Major League Baseball in New York with the Yankees, or the Dodgers in Los Angeles, or the Cubs in Chicago, the Red Sox in Boston, where they can pay way more than the small market teams can. And essentially, it doesn't always work, but they can certainly give themselves a much better opportunity to win championships through those much larger pockets to pull from, as opposed to these small market cities. So the NFL has the perfect thing going. Let's hope they never ruin that, because revenue sharing is awesome.
Absolutely. The Packers, with this whole financial revealing today, you can see some ups and downs with this. You can see that they're acquiring some properties. They're paying for some different things in Titletown, and you former contracts too. You have the Hafley signings. You have some increases here with the coaching staff, that sort of thing.
Right,
so,
and you want to be able to, attract and retain high end coaching too. That's important. Remember, it took him forever to actually pay a guy like Rich Bisaccia the right kind of money to attract a good candidate for the special teams.
Yeah. So you can see in this report some of the they had to pay for this, but then they made this. So it's like kind of like there's a little balancing act here. All of it's positive. All of it's good. That came out today. I know they always say the owners hate it when this day comes, because then everybody knows their profits.
Exactly.
So, I kind of like that. I kind of like being the guy.
We're the owners.
Yeah.
And we get to tell everybody.
That's right.
So we're a lot of dry talk here, Tay, and it's been a pretty dry week. We mentioned the driest sports day of the year. That said, Jordan Love has been in around town, his football camp in Milwaukee. I know a reporter jumped in and he's like, whoa. Nope, not going to answer that.
He was asked about his contract.
Correct. Is it?
And he's
near done. He's smiling and going, like, and this thing, Tay, is getting announced tomorrow, Friday or Monday. It's here. It's happening. There's even which was set up also for training camp. There's also, a press release on Sunday. So whenever they decide to do this over the next 5 days, it's going to pop on us, and it's just going to be on top of us. Yeah. So I expect it to happen anytime between now and Monday as a result. So Jordan's been out there. He had to report to Green Bay today, so he had the camp yesterday. But he did do, again, courtesy of Zach Cruz, go over the Packers wire. He did an AMA on Bleacher Report this week, said some kind of fun things that I think are very interesting to Packer Universe, no doubt. And he said the biggest thing he's worked on in the offseason is throwing on the run. Quote unquote, he said, I think it's a big part of my game, being able to extend plays when plays go off schedule, whether you're going left or going right, being able to get your shoulders down to the target and being able to finish throws. I think that's a huge part of my game last season and something I'm really looking to build on this year. So per Pro Football Focus in the article, it goes on to say Love ranked 5th in the NFL in passer rating when throwing the ball in under 2.5 seconds. Obviously, these off-schedule plays, Tay, are longer than that.
Yeah.
Generally, the time it takes to deliver a pass within the structure of a design play is that 2.5 seconds. When he held the ball more than that, his passer rating dropped by over 10 points, and his turnover-worthy play percentage was almost 4 times higher. So seriously, a part of his game he needs to put some work into and recognize that. So good on Jordan for saying, hey, I got to really dial this in. But at the same time, Love wasn't bad either when playing off schedule. He had 27 big-time throws when holding the ball past the 2.5 seconds, ranked for second in the NFL, tied with one other, but also threw 11 picks, third most, and completed under 60% of his throws, again, in those situations. His final passes, we know, of the 2023 season was exactly one of those off-schedule plays, Tay, and it was an interception while he was rolling right, and that was in the waning minutes in the loss to San Francisco, which was almost the precipice in a game they led into the fourth quarter that they probably should have won.
Looking at all those stats you just rattled off about his, unscripted, movement passes. Do you let him go more this year, or do you kind of keep him on a regiment? Keep him. No, this is the play. We're drawing it up. You should be doing this. There's no reason to go off. Maybe here's a couple plays to audible too, but stay in your lane here, Jordan. Like, what do you do if you're MLF?
I think you play within the structure and the confines of the offense. We saw how successful it was last year. They have a bevy of skill position guys to throw it to, from the wide receivers to the tight ends to the running backs. There's usually going to be an option open for him, but at times, he is going to be forced out of the pocket, Tay, and have to scramble to his right or left. And now he's off schedule. That's not necessarily a result of the play call was good or bad. Sometimes the play's covered up. Listen, there's defenses out there that play well at times as well. So that then puts him in those positions, and he's recognized, hey, if I am doing this, I got to get my shoulders square when I get that ball out, so I'm not, drifting it over the middle late like in San Francisco, and it results in one of those higher percentage turnover plays. So I love that he recognized that. He's continued to work on his game. I heard from some other people in the offseason, this guy was just working his ass off, getting better. So, that's what you want to hear about your quarterback. and awesome to Jordan for recognizing that.
Yeah, I am excited to see what happens when the plays break down. We always knew with Aaron Rodgers that you had a chance. And you're like, okay,
Aaron's a fan of the hero ball. I mean, that's what everybody said.
As long as everyone was on the same
to play
page,
some hero ball.
As long as all the receivers knew what was going on, we were good. And I think we all kind of loved that a little bit. We liked that. So what are we going to get with Jordan? We did, because
it was Aaron Rodgers, and we know Aaron could flip it on a dime 60 yards downfield and result in this huge play. But that got more and more dangerous later and later in his career and was less and less effective.
Yeah, I think his receivers had a lot to do with that as well.
Well, he also only had Davante as and that was his security blanket.
Yeah.
So what did it matter to him to play within the confines of offense when he could just let Davante get open? And Davante, I mean, look at that last playoff game. I mean, he was targeting Davante Adams too much, and Allen Lazard deep over the middle. Yep. I mean, he had a couple guys he trusted and didn't like to play within the confines of the offense. And I think that was one of the huge pieces, the breath of fresh air in 2023 was Jordan playing in Matt's scheme. And you got to really see how effective of a play caller Matt LaFleur is and was and is. So I don't think Jordan's going to purposefully kind of go the Rodgers route, especially not this early in his career, and try to play hero ball or play off schedule on purpose. But yeah, there's times in football games where all quarterbacks have to, and they have to improvise, and he just wants to do it better when it's in that situation.
Backing off of that comment right there, that last one you made, I think defining greatness for a quarterback includes heavily what you do when stuff breaks down, off scripted plays. What can you do in the time given to you that's not structured? Like, can you make things happen? Are you a Russell Wilson and can just run around for 6 to 8, 11 seconds? Are you Aaron who can skip to one side and make something happen? Nice throw. Even Peyton Manning when stuff broke down, Tom Brady, it's like these guys are defined by what they can do on the field when stuff breaks down. And I think that's something to watch for Jordan Love, not just this year, but over the next several years. Like, what does he do in this situation? Because you can be a game manager and just get the ball, run the play, and be successful. But I think truly great quarterbacks and quarterbacks that can take you far and you can hang your hat on have this capability of excellence when stuff breaks down.
I agree with that. And Jordan also has, I think, the right mindset too, where he never gets too high or too low. He's just kind of an even keel guy, and he just recognizes what he needs to do. So again, the recognizing things where you can always get better, and then actually putting in the work to do it is, again, I think that's just phenomenal. And I'm a fan, Tay.
Yeah,
I love me some Love, no doubt about that. Another one of these interesting fun anecdotes from his AMA the other day, they asked me anything piece at per Bleacher Report was they were talking about Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs has this kind of thing hanging over his head that people don't want to see happen to him, and that is Josh Jacobs currently has 197 career receptions without a receiving touchdown, Tay. I know you were wondering how good of a receiver he is, Tay, but he can catch the ball. If he catches 5 more passes without scoring a receiving touchdown, he'd break an NFL record for career receptions without a TD, Tay. Love on the AMA goes on to say, no, that's not going to happen. I saw that the other day. I'm surprised he doesn't have any touchdowns yet. Let's see, 197 receptions, 0 receiving touchdowns. I sent that to him. I said, bro, we're going to get you a touchdown for sure. First pass to him might be a touchdown. Who knows? 5 receptions away from it, we'll make sure he gets a touchdown in there.
Yeah. So, well,
kind of a neat anecdote, kind of one of those fun couple pieces that came out of that Jordan Love AMA. That's the kind of fun stuff to talk about, in my opinion.
I mean, it could be lip service, it could be just whatever talk, but I do believe that. I think they've got to get him involved in the passing game. Let him prove himself. We have relied on passing to the running backs for a long time, and that's, I think, crucial. So we'll see. I'm glad. I don't know about telling the defense right now, the Eagles defense, that the first pass, to him is going to be a touchdown. That's probably not a good idea.
They're definitely not just going to say, hey, we're doing this just because,
right.
i.e. the Aaron Rodgers trying to force that ball into David Bakhtiari and that thing.
Right.
Not working out. That said, not a lot else to talk about the Packers. We all await the pen to paper with Jordan Love, and that's going to happen, as we said, as soon as we turn off the mics tonight.
Right.
We hear about that, but during this dead week, Tay, sure, there were lists that who's the best team in each division expected, who's the worst team, who's this, who's that, who's the best receiver, who are the best rookies to watch. Again, it is list time in the 2024 season, all these different things. But the big one was the NFL receiver piece on Netflix, and Davante Adams maybe somehow ending back up with Aaron Rodgers and our good old hero ball guy who can just lock back onto his favorite target, saying, I can't wait to play with Davante again, when they were over at the golf piece out in Lake Tahoe. So any ending notes here on the Davante Adams, and it was national news, Tay. People believe he will be moved before the start of the season, possibly to the New York Jets.
I mean, go for it, man. Go for it. Go out east, try to hook up with Aaron again, and go have fun if it's possible. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'm not invested anymore, really. Like, Davante Adams made his decision. We all can, I guess, understand that. But it's like, he's been out to, in Las Vegas for a few years. It's just whatever it is now. Who cares? If he wants to try to somehow make a connection and go out and play for the Jets, fine, go ahead. I don't care. If he does, great. I'd like to see a Aaron to Davante Adams touchdown pass again, just for that's kind of cool. I just don't think it has any kind of bearing on the Packers anymore. It doesn't matter to the Packers. They're not going to do anything that threatens the Packers ever.
Other than if they matched up in a Super Bowl, which would be glorious, really.
It would be fun, but that's not happening.
No,
it's not happening.
I don't think Aaron's ever getting back. But
no. And Davante, go for it, man. But at the same time, it's like, well, you chose this trajectory of your career path, so it's like, if they're willing to take you, then sure, do it.
And I would say, even with pretty middling quarterback play out in Vegas, Davante still put up pretty productive years. So, I mean, he's still one of the best. We know his get off at the line of scrimmage is the best in the league still, I think, at his age. I mean, he's 31 this year, I want to say, going on 32. I believe I'm right on that. You can double check that if you want to, but I wouldn't have any problem with it. If they want to play together, go get it. I think there's some potential dead cap stuff there, so I'm not sure how easy it is still for Vegas to move him this year. It looks pretty easy next year with regard to some of their cap ramifications, but certainly, hey, go out to New York if you want. And it sounds like some of those comments that he made, per the receiver piece on Netflix, that he was like under pressure and is going to get killed out in Vegas. So maybe he says all the right things, but maybe behind the scenes he really does want to get the heck out of there.
No, I don't blame him. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe he does it for a year or two, but I think he belongs. He wants to be out west with his family, his pals, and everything like that. So I don't know. It's news. You knew it was going to happen eventually, right? You knew this was going to happen. Like, everyone brought it up earlier, and then it was like, he's not interested. But now he says it. Okay, now it's more interesting. And you had talk of Aaron also saying that too. It's like,
well, Davante really didn't say it. He said it wouldn't be bad to play with Aaron again if it ever happened. But Aaron was really saying, I can't wait till we're playing together again. Like, he's like just being Mr. Soothsayer. Like,
yeah.
It's happening. Probably, hey, Woody, listen to what I'm saying here. That'd be, i.e. Woody Johnson. Like, go get my guy.
Man, the Jets are turning into that team, though. If they pick up Adams, there's only one reason why Adams is there, and it's just how the list got made. Aaron's little laundry list of players he wanted. It's that whole thing, and thank God we're out of that, done with that stuff. So that's
you nailed it on the head, Ted.
No, thank you.
You got anything else about our Green Bay Packers before we get the heck out of here on episode 277 and a half here today?
No, it's 278. This is a full episode. Okay, we're getting over a half hour here, so we're
crazy
doing
content.
But I just want to make everyone aware we are going to be doing some video stuff next week and more in the future. So if you want to see that content, go over to YouTube, subscribe to our channel there. You can also follow us on other social media. I've been trying to post these type of things to that as well. So, Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube.
Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That helps us out greatly. We watched that. We're up by 1 today, Tay? 2, 3. I mean, it's just momentous.
Yeah. No, so. And we would, we're a Packers fan podcast. It's fun to get out there. It's fun to do some things. It's fun to see people engaging and watching our content. So if you're not subscribed, we just recommend you go over there and do that so you're not missing anything. So rather than having just the voice, you can see the ugly mugs as well.
That's right. We tried to shield that from you guys for all these years, but now it's out there for everybody to see. So go check it out on YouTube anytime, Tay. But hey, until episode 279 from Lambeau Field, Tay, on the pup list.